Okay, gang, if you can see, there's a fence right there through the woods. We're at the edge of what was once there's some buildings there. What was once a SeaWorld, I've heard, and then for whatever reason it kind of shut down, so as part of it is already kind of being under construction. Like I saw, you know, equipment ripping up and tearing up the old foundations and stuff, but there's another side over here that looks pretty intact. However, there's a lot of no trespassing signs. As you can see, they're just about everywhere. There's even police like right over there. There's a cop car, and it's like the middle of the day, so I'm really not trying to get in trouble. I mean, you know, it just doesn't seem like it would be worth it, but you can see it still through the trees there. Right there's some buildings and stuff. It looks really cool on Google Maps. It's just a big open area though, so it's not like it would be very easy, especially during the daytime, to walk around. And I'm not sure what this sign says here, but oh, First Responder Training Center. I thought I said something about canines, and there you can see a pretty good view. Basically, I think I'm just gonna skip ahead to my next location because this just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen today. So for my own safety and for the sake of not wasting the time and resources of the police department, I believe that's gonna be it. So there's all sorts of little trails and things, and it looks like people do probably sneak in, like teenagers and stuff, but let's try this again with a little more light. Didn't really do much research, but what I did find suggested that this is an observatory, and it was built for a school in the area, I think. But as the area got a little more and more populated, the light pollution kind of rendered the use of the observatory useless, or at least that's what I saw. So basically, you know, a lot of people moved in, and all of a sudden it was too bright to really see much. Clearly a very active area, as you can see with all the spray paint, empty bottles and such. Really hoping that I don't step on any nails or needles or anything like that. After the SeaWorld was closed, I was pretty bummed, so I'm glad to see that this is so easily accessible. I suppose at this point it's too hard for the government to keep people out. It's quite interesting. I love that you can still see the wooden door frames. I think that was a bathroom. Oh yeah, that looks like an accident waiting to happen. Tile walls. Let's see what's on the other end of the building. I see that there's a downstairs as well, and I'll check that out last, I think, just in case we run out of time here. I really do want to try to get the upstairs. Maybe not. I'm not really one to believe in haunted houses. I guess that's just water dripping. This whole area is pretty spooky. I suppose I could have brought a stick, if anything, just in case. This is pretty neat, though. It's hard to beat. This might be the best footage I've got so far. Clearly the ceiling's falling in, so I'm going to try to be a little bit cautious of that. Don't really want to go down there. I guess this was theater, too. I don't know. I just, like I said, I didn't really spend the time to learn about the area. Didn't know how likely I would be to get in. Yeah. Woo. This whole place is unfortunately falling in. It feels like someone decided that they saw the value in a place like this. They could, maybe they could strip it out or put something in the bare bones. It just seems like a bit of a waste that it's all kind of falling in. I guess this is the projection room. trying to be real careful. Do not want to fall through and hurt myself. Wow. That's really something. And the fact that it's still, I mean, I would say intact, but I don't know. Like I said, it feels like they could do something with this space. But I think Cleveland has some more pressing issues to deal with. Sorry, I'm going a little fast. I'm really hoping I can get out of here before anybody pulls up to tell me I shouldn't be here. If I could avoid that interaction, I would love to. Clearly people have been out there spray painting, but after what we've seen from the inside, I'm not sure it's a very good idea to walk on the roof. These stairs I think are metal, but most of the floor seems to be concrete, which is pretty reassuring. God, I really don't want to go down there, but I guess we got to. I did actually come out the back here. This is the back of the, well, you can't really see, but this is the back of the auditorium. I don't know what the word is right now. Theater. It said it was a memorial hall. I saw big letters. It's just an area I didn't quite get to before. Intake for an aircon. Cool beans. This wasn't on my list, but it caught my eye for obvious reasons. Definitely not going to try to go inside, but I thought it seemed worth some recording. Trying to be as respectful as I can of the people around here, because obviously these people live here. It's not a zoo, although there's a bunch of stray cats maybe, but I don't know what this one is. Backside of these buildings was pretty interesting too. You guess I can try to. Clearly the roofs are falling in. I don't know if those were apartments or maybe a school. I guess people must be living in these buildings, as much trash as there is. I don't know. It's crazy to imagine, but I thought that was a pretty cool sign. Here we find ourselves at the East Cleveland Community Park, and it's those buildings over there that I was, I guess, trying to go past. Looks like I can't get there from here, but it's crazy that this has clearly been built, you know, I mean, this is modern, and yet all these buildings just sit totally, I don't know how you describe it, but thought that was a kind of cool shot. I'm not sure how much you can see on the camera, but there's a door back there that says entrance to the Signature Lounge, and then there's this kind of breezeway, a couple breezeways between these two buildings, and just everything's covered in vines, and I think this is the right time of the year to come look at it, because I think otherwise it would be mostly covered up by the greenery. It's becoming pretty obvious that people are looking around, and I don't want to step into something I should not be. But I think we could just take a quick spin to this area. I've heard it be named one of the most dangerous areas in Cleveland. I can certainly see why. Read reports of multiple bodies being found, and so I didn't record it. I didn't think to, but I just stopped and asked the dude on the side of the street if he knew anything about the area, or just, you know, for some information, and he told me a lot of things. I'm still just kind of having to process some, but mainly what I took away was that Rockefeller had a lot to do with building up this East Cleveland area, and then in the 20s, obviously the Great Depression occurred, and after that he said it really just didn't pop back. So that explains to me, I guess, a little bit why there's so much, you know, fancy 1920s masonry, stone architecture, all these apartment buildings with, you know, the mansions and the neighborhoods and all that, and how it could just be, you know, falling in. This area is clearly a lot nicer than where we just were, but I just keep passing infinite amounts of big, small, apartment, house, all sorts of things just totally left to rot. And it's It's crazy to me how much it's, sprinkled throughout. Livable, maintained areas.